Hello. Melissa May Dillon here live on my personal page on Facebook. And then we generally upload it to the YouTube channel. If you are on the YouTube channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. And whether you are on Facebook or YouTube, if there's anything that you want to talk about or have a comment about or relate to or whatever, please drop it in the comment below. I would love to hear from you. And today was the day I decided I didn't feel like doing my makeup. And so sometimes you will catch me just totally raw and fresh. I actually just fell asleep with the baby. I put the baby to bed and then I fell asleep. And then thank goodness I woke up. The dog started barking because my mom was doing dishes, cleaning around the dishes. But it made me wake up, and I'm glad. And I just had to wet down my hair. But here I am. I'm here. We're going live. So 2025, the year in which I'm going live. And today I wanted to talk about this topic about ruining. Everything is ruined. It's all ruined. So I have definitely lived in this type of mindset before, and I've been I always listen to Melanie Anlayer. She's an amazing woman who was homeless in her car in 2016, figured out how to fall in love with her life, started teaching other people how to do it, even while she was homeless. And then from that, she built a coaching business. She's since made $80 million in her brand. And she has courses and teaching where she helps other people continue to fall in love with their life, build businesses. She's all about having, women making large sums of money. And so I follow her and do all the things that she has. And she's been talking about this idea too, about how we always, like, when something happens, we feel like it's ruined. Everything is ruined. And it's like, you can't ever get it back again. And I was playing around with this concept and thinking about how it's so much of, like, almost everything that we've got a problem with in our life is related to something that happened to us as children. So, like, if I had this habit of attracting men who needed a therapist because my dad raised me to be his therapist. And so I had this conditioning and this programming to always attract men who needed a therapist. So anything that, generally happens anything that we usually have a problem with in our adulthood stems from something that happened in our childhood. And I know, like, so many times, one of the punishments that I would get, growing up as a kid was like, it's all ruined. So for instance, so let's say you have, and this was true, whether it was like my father, my stepmother, or even the boarding school I went to, they definitely carried this energy with them. But like, there was a time, like let's say we have, a fun activity coming up for the weekend. And then you, as a kid, you're goofing around, maybe you break something and you get yelled and screamed at. Like, this is my experience. And then it was like, because you did this, you are no longer you will not be participating in the weekend event that we have. And it was like, you've ruined everything. Or maybe you're out shopping with your parents and, you say something or do something that causes them to be mad. And then it was like, that's it. We're going home. We're not going to get the ice cream like we planned. You ruined everything. So this is I can definitely identify with this energy of thinking that everything is ruined. So, like, one little conflict arises, one little difficulty arises, something shows up that doesn't quite feel comfortable, and then it feels like everything is ruined and it's like no chance of recovery. So I want to speak about this because I want to begin identifying if I continue doing this pattern. And I know I do, even like with, my relationship with David. So again, I don't have any examples of healthy relationships growing up. So, like, none of the adults in my life have had healthy relationships that I can look to and say, oh, this is how a healthy relationship is. And so, and the most common thing that I saw, especially with my stepmom, was every time my dad and my stepmom had conflict, she would pack a car and say, I'm leaving, and she would drive off for a while. So I very much too have been in the past in this habit of, if there's a conflict that arises, between David or I, or any of my partners, honestly, I'm fleeing. That's it. It's like ruined. So I want to be more consciously aware of times where I think things have been ruined. And I don't think I fall into this very often now, but it's obviously, like, coming into my mind about, where, cause it's like crazy. Cause, like, this belief that we develop as a child will come into, like, all areas of our life. without our awareness of it, because it's like happening at this like subconscious level and like seep itself into like all the different ways in which our life is happening. And so I want to be able to catch myself to feel like when I think everything is ruined, you know, and I think I've gotten to a really good point where I trust everything is working for me in my favor all the time. I really feel so much more power than I've ever felt before, like really just trusting in what I do, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And I feel really, really good about that. But with this idea that's coming up to me, like, are there any ways in which a little conflict arises and then I'm like, everything is ruined. It all sucks. It's all destroyed. It's all ruined. And am I carrying that with me still to this day? And I want to make sure I eliminate it and get rid of it. Melanie always talked about too, like, I was just listening to her the other day. Where was this? In the Exponential Wealth Program. She talks about like, if a person takes something from you, so if they come at you for your power or whatever, like, and I think this was actually in the frame set of like a woman being, molested by a man or something. And she's like, they already took what they took. Don't let them take any more. Like, don't give them any more of your power. Like if, someone says something to you or does something to you and you spend time thinking about it, wondering about it, pondering about it, you're allowing them to take more of your power. And it's like, they already took what they've took. Let that be it. And don't give them any more thought or energy towards it. So I want to make sure I'm implementing the same thing, in my life. If something that I don't like happens or something says something or whatever happens, like, instead of carrying this energy with me, if it's ruining everything, but just like they already took what they took, like don't give them any more time. Don't give them any more energy. Just be done with it. So I'm going to be working through this myself. Again, everything that I come on here live and talk about is usually something that I also want to dig into. So I'm going to continue pondering on this. Also yesterday I went live and vision casted for 2025. So like vision casting in the form that I'm talking about is pretending as if it is 2026 and you're summarizing everything that's happened for 2025. What does your year look like? And I did that yesterday on my live stream. And I do actually want to listen to everything I said and then do it again, because I feel like I can amp that energy up even more. And I know that like there were some things I said yesterday where I kind of limited some things because I don't know if I was afraid or if I just like, there was something about me that hesitated saying like certain numbers or certain goals, like trying to put like an exact amount on it. Part of it is I don't want to limit, like, there's part, like this year in the insurance exam, or 2024, we ended right around 2 million in total revenue. And I want to be like, next year's going to be 10 million, which would be like 5 times as much, right? There's a part of me that's like, that's 8 more million than the 2 you've made. Like, that's a lot. And then there's a part of me that's like, don't cap it at 10. It could be 100. So I'm like, kind of like, putting a number on it sometimes is like, there's one side of it that feels scary, especially if it's like a bigger number. And then there's one side of it is like that you're limiting, if you say, because it's almost like Elon Musk's concept where he says, if you say it's going to take 2 weeks, it'll take 2 weeks. If you say it's going to take 2 months, it'll take 2 months. It's kind of like if I put a number out there, like I feel like I might somewhat be limiting myself by that number. So I don't know. I want to play around with that. I mean, I definitely want to hit, crazy number milestones within my business. I want to shock people with what we've been able to do in terms of growing the business and what I want to show people that they can do crazy and amazing things too. I quit my corporate job, built a multi-million-dollar business in 2 years, using a YouTube camera, using a $700 laptop. Like, I mean, the what I built and what I did, I was completely messy. I didn't edit any of my videos on YouTube. I just kept putting myself out there, kept teaching my stuff, grew an amazing community, have an entire audience of people who, I'm positively impacting with helping them, get into new careers. And I didn't follow the rules and I just went for it. And it's been an amazing blessing in my life and for other people. And through that business, I met my husband, I got my baby, I got my 100-acre property. It's been amazing and wild and awesome. And it's like, there was parts of me that's like wanted to put out numbers to, you know, be more wild and be more crazy, but I got to play around with it, like dig into that feeling of like setting a number. One, it feels scary to set a big number, but then also I don't want to be limiting myself either. So I think I was kind of in this weird zone. So I want to play around with that. I'm going to listen to that again, and then I'm going to vision cast again. I didn't have an opportunity to listen to it today. I was doing all kinds of stuff today, actually, but I was mostly mommy today, mostly with the baby today, cleaning the house today. I didn't have a lot of time to be able to just sit and do some stuff on my computer, but I want to do that. So consider, earlier as I was talking, like consider if there's ever a time where you feel like something happens and it ruins everything, like is that really true? And is it possibly coming from a past conditioning with your parents and the way that you were raised? And if something happens that you don't love and enjoy, don't dwell on it. Don't spend all this time on it. Don't let it take more from you than what it's already taken. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get some more vision casting going for tomorrow. I am excited to listen to that and re-amp myself up. So yeah, 2025, the year in which I'm going live. So I'm going to let you go for tonight. I love you all so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.